Thank you so much for coming. Thank you at home for joining us. It is The Christian View, where we take today's hot topics, weigh them against the Word of God, because God does have a view in all things. And we have a great guy with us today, Mr. Mike Coffey, on the panel. You are one brave guy.
No, thank you, Jackie.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You are outnumbered.
Yeah, you know, and Jackie, Mike, I've known you for many, many years, I think probably 20 plus years, and I just really appreciate you being here with us today. Well, our topic today is prescription drugs, and we're going to talk about the benefits, the dangers, and then some more of that. But first of all, I want you to kind of tell the audience a little bit about your background, Mike. Just share a little bit with us before we get into our first topic of the segment.
Thank you, and Jackie, first of all, I want to thank you for having me here on this subject, because it did a lot to me physically, emotionally, and thank the Lord, in my Christian life also at the end. Okay.
Sure.
But I'm an oddity. I was actually born in Atlanta, and my first place we lived was over off of Ashby Street at a cotton mill. Okay.
Oh, really?
Went to high school and school in the metro Atlanta area, then college a little bit, and then 1966, I went in the Army for a while. But besides that, I've been very lucky in business, okay? I've had a couple of businesses I owned, and I actually worked for Ann's husband, Mike White, for a while. And Ann and I do go back. She remembers me when I had dark hair. That's been a long time ago, okay? But I've got married. Donna is.
All right, she's here today. Thank you for coming.
She's the love of my life, and I have 3 grandkids ranging from the age of 4 to 25.
Wow.
A 4th on the way in August, and actually I have a great grandson.
All right.
That's 3.
You are brave.
There's times I feel like I'm 3 days older than dirt.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Well, you know, Mike, I've always known you to be so upbeat and such a loving, caring person, and you are. You're a very genuine, very loving, caring person. But since our topic is on prescription drugs, and I know all of us have been impacted by prescription drugs. We've taken them, we've needed them. Let's talk first about the benefits and how prescription drugs have benefited all of us, really. And Mike, if you want to start, maybe that would be a great place to start.
Sure. When you get my age, you've been operated on a few times. And, so I can't think of going in an operation without taking some medication before.
You're not that brave, huh?
Got that right. But and then too, I've been on blood pressure pills for over 40 years. Okay, and so those are the good ones that I've had some direct contact with and experience with. But anyway.
Lisa, you don't take prescription drugs, do you?
I've taken prescription drugs. You know, I had a situation several months ago where I had an issue, and I had to take it. And it's interesting we were talking about this subject because it was for pain. And you know how it tells you to take it every 4 hours as the pain continues. And so I did, and I continued to take it. But it ended up being over 4 weeks of taking that pain medicine until I went back to the doctor. And I had a doctor that told me I needed to come off because it was causing the pain to exist.
Wow.
So,
There you go.
I'm not a fan of prescription drugs. I know we have to have them at times, but you know, there's a flag there, concerning
Now,
it.
your drug addiction, it became an addiction. It started with ringing in the ears. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, I had found out was diagnosed with a Meniere's disease. It's a severe case of vertigo, and I had the operation in Tennessee.
Wow.
And when I came back, my PCP got the records, and the doctor had put me on a prescription of Xanax twice a day.
We've all heard of that one, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah, twice a day. So my PCP kept that prescription going for a little bit longer than I found out he should have been doing.
How long should it go?
You know, I've heard that with Xanax, if you're on it more than 30 days, you become dependent. Your body becomes dependent on it, and you can get, you know, accustomed to it. But, you know, Xanax is a benefit, and it's one of the probably the greatest drugs now prescribed for anxiety.
Depression?
And, well, more anxiety and that type of thing.
Would that be short term, not long term?
I think it should be.
This was for ringing in the ear to help.
Did it help?
Olivia, it did help. Okay,
And
initially.
the ringing of the ears started with your service in
That's
Vietnam.
In Vietnam?
It did
right?
actually. Okay, and then through the operation for Meniere's, and then it lit, you know, further than that. But
Did you have that? What is that? What is that? PTSD when you came back?
I have been diagnosed with that just recently, actually, over the last couple of years.
That's a big thing now with American Sniper and all that
Yeah,
going on.
I guess it's. I did not realize it till after my story will get into this about, because when I started going through therapy.
Okay.
And after what Donna and I refer to as the incident that happened.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But I did not know I was addicted. You know,
You were just doing what the doctor told you to do.
Exactly. Exactly.
You didn't have any signs? Nobody noticed anything funny?
Well, not that I look back, okay?
How many years was you on this drug?
Well, as Ann was saying, they tell you anywhere over 2 to 3 years is about all they really want you. I was on it for just over 15 years.
Well, if they saw anything different, they would know anyway, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, how accountable are doctors with administering these drugs?
Well, in my case, obviously none.
That's the problem. That is the problem. Is it about them making money? Is it them just not caring enough? Is it something that our government can do to regulate?
Well, our government does regulate it, Elisa, and I think there's definitely a good thing in there. Even in Georgia, we've got some pretty stiff laws now, you know, on prescriptions, and our pharmacies, you know, are supposed to keep up with everything, but that's only if the
they're not near as strict
patient,
as they need to be.
well, if the patient, you know, is deceptive and goes to different pharmacies, and we can get in a little bit more to that when we talk about the dangers, but, you know, you brought up that your doctor had told you that you needed to come off. I had a very close friend that went through a surgery last year, and she had a prescription for hydrocodone, a painkiller, and had that prescription, I think was a 30-day supply because of her surgery. Didn't use it all for her surgery, but went through a situation emotionally where she felt like she needed it, began taking it.
Had some left over and started it.
Yes, and that's what happens. The doctors overprescribe an amount, and it gets very out of control. It can.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back with Mike Coffey. Thank you.